Vanica Roscoe, a former Charlotte warrior who was able to obtain power to strike fear within the mightiest of gods. A powerful warrior who shows incredible levels of key control as well as an impressive weapon mastery, as she could utilize any weapon that comes into her hands even though she only wields it once. All of this power falling in the possession of a mortal who even makes the greatest gods such as Hades and Thanatos question if they even stand a chance. And this is all thanks to her greatest ability, the fires of war. During a confrontation with the goddess of victory Nike, Vanica charged towards her with such speed that they both traveled into the future. After crashing hundreds of years into the future with the severed head of Nike, Vanica meets one of her greatest oppositions ever, Sergeant O'Brien, who was revered as the greatest hero to ever live. O'Brien tries to confront Vanica after noticing the severed head, and Vanica decides to stand her ground. O'Brien quickly avoids Vanica's attack and then counters with one of her own. That single attack from O'Brien sends Vanica through multiple buildings, and a second attack from O'Brien sends her through multiple mountains, but then the third attack does absolutely nothing. Within just mere moments, the fires of war kicked in and allowed Vanica to adapt yet again, and now the battle is in her favor as she completely starts to dominate O'Brien in this fight. O'Brien is left confused as she has no idea how Vanica completely surpassed her and is just continuously becoming more and more powerful. So she sneaks away and pops a power capsule in her mouth, allowing her to gain more power, which takes the battle off planet. As the battle rages on and the fires of war continue to burn within Vanica, she began to utilize constructs without even realizing it, spawning in weapons and other items that she uses in the fight purely on instinct without any idea of how she does it. O'Brien charges in once again for an attack, but Vanica counters with a devastating kick. A kick that sends O'Brien crash landing on a completely different planet in a completely different galaxy, 3 galaxies away from where their fight initiated. And before O'Brien can even get off of her back, Vanica charges in and lands the most devastating gut punch, which completely destroys the planet they're standing on. That same punch shakes the entire universe and the entirety of heaven, as well as the entirety of the hells below, with hell being stated to have 7 rings which are all universal in size, and Vanica's punch shook every ring of hell, causing severe damage to each ring, which is universal in size. And now this is it, the coup de grace. Vanica charges one final attack to finally put O'Brien down for good, with this attack being so devastating that before it even connects with O'Brien's body, Vanica yet again does the impossible and somehow ends up outside of this universe and enters a completely different one, with a new opposition standing before her. Her battle instincts awaken once again. But we're not done yet. There's still a lot more to go over. During the Project Black timeline, Vanica faces off against Darker as soon as she arrives there. But what Darker considers a serious battle, Vanica calls it sparring. With Darker being more powerful than Phantasma, who could conquer the entirety of Zeta Galaxy by himself. With the Zeta Galaxy being a quadrant in space which contains hundreds of large galaxies within it. Darker would be far stronger than Arturo, who is more powerful than both Dragon and Verdun, who are both more powerful than Volume 2 Kenjiri. And Volume 2 Kenjiri was capable of destroying dimensions. And Vanica easily takes out Darker in just her base form. But her might will soon be tested by the one who stands above everyone. The Nightmare has returned, back from the dead, if you could even call him that. His soul travels to a completely different timeline to obtain a new body and do it all again, spreading chaos all over. And within those mere moments, Kenjiri shows Vanica what it means to be strong and what it means to be a god. Kenjiri challenges Vanica to a one-on-one after clearing the arena and absolutely dominates her. It didn't matter what she did or how much she adapted. Kenjiri was still on top and far above her. For Vanica, this was serious. But for Kenjiri, this was a warm-up. Fortunately for her, her life was saved by Obito, who showed up just in time to save her from Kenjiri's final attack. However, the damage was already done. Her pride and her confidence as a warrior were completely shattered. Her will to fight was extinguished, and the fires of war no longer burned. But it wasn't over, as the words of one warrior reignited that fire, and she went straight back to Kenjiri to finish things for good. During the final confrontation, Yuri tries to trap Kenjiri within her Frost realm, but Vanica inadvertently destroys this realm by connecting fists with Kenjiri. But as the battle escalates, the multiverse begins to shake as all four fighters give it their all in this final battle, shattering time, reality, and multiple space-times and alternate dimensions and worlds over and over and over. And when the smoke finally clears, Kenjiri is lost in the void of time, arriving in a timeline where everyone worships him as a god. However, a few years after this, Vanica stands face to face against Rava Black. Shortly after this, she stands face to face against Haki, Angelina, and Angelica for one final confrontation. As she isn't bound to any of these timelines, Vanica moves in and out as she pleases, appreciating all of these worlds and the people within them. But with Kenjiri Smoke still out there, she can't let her guard down, as her final mission is to find him and put him down for good.